Morning, guys. All right, we are now into day 68, day 68. I had to go back and double check because I'm not wanting to lose track of time, and it's easy to do when you've done something for so many days. So we're on day 68. I thought that we was like on day 69 or 70, but no, 68. So let's go on ahead and start reading. How to feed the stomach. To relearn how to feed the stomach, you first need to wait for true stomach hunger. The stomach is a pouch made out of 3 layers of muscle, and it is located right below your sternum bone, the bone that is broken open in heart bypass operations. This feeling of true stomach hunger we are looking for is a little burning, empty, hollow sensation that occurs several hours after the last feeding or many hours after the last binge. It is a very tiny, polite feeling, and I have known novices in Ray Down workshop seminars to pass it by or give it antacids, thinking it was indigestion. You can pray to God to help you recognize true physiological hunger. You will discover that His prodding is normally gentle. He is trying to wake us up to His leading rather than dictate to us. God projects many images of Himself. I see Him as a kind shepherd and a gentle man. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:28-30. That is why hunger is only a polite nudge, and why you need to be a little more quiet, still, and calm to find this rumbling of acid underneath the ribs. Some people feel this burning at the waistline. Some feel it up in the esophagus. No matter. If you are not sure that this feeling is hunger, just wait a little longer. Remember, you will always feel great while you are rating. Many Ray Down workshop participants wait for a growl or rumbling in this pouch. Disregard the rare rumblings and noises that originate below the belt line or where the belt line used to be. That is just the noise of trying to digest the Last Supper. Those noises from the lower intestine are the sounds of the digestion of food you ate a few hours previously. Before the end of this chapter, you will know how to tell if you are truly physiologically hungry. To start with, do not be afraid to wait a few hours for hunger. You will feel great. Jesus went to the desert and fasted 40 days. We are not suggesting that you do this. However, throughout history, a fast of a few days has been reported to be a good thing. There are many examples of people fasting, bypassing hunger, but we are only asking you to wait for, not bypass, your first hunger signal. This is not a fast. This is normal behavior. Note, see the special notes for diabetics and hypoglycemics starting on page 59, which we're not there yet anyway. And let's see how far that goes, because I have got almost a 9-minute testimony to give to you all. Okay, we will start on that tomorrow, how to eat. So let's go on ahead and read a piece out of phase 2. Yes, the rescue is from God, and the rescuer, Jesus, was foretold by Isaiah hundreds of years before Jesus walked on the earth. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. What a beautiful picture of what is happening to you right now. Look at the fruit in your life from living these truths, or just look at where you once were and where you have come. You have just been delivered from the clutches of the mighty Pharaoh, and you have been led across the Red Sea by the hand of God. Many of you have tried everything to escape the prison of dieting and the pain of overweight, and now are journeying a great exodus of people finally turning to God for his mighty rescue. Just as the Israelites were set free from Egypt, you have just been set free to love God instead of the refrigerator or pantry. You have just been set free from making bricks for Pharaoh, dieting, counting fat grams, have-to exercising, pills, liquid fasts, foods you do not want to eat, constant raying, clothes that do not fit, and the scorn of men. And there's a blank there that you can fill in. The exciting thing is that you have found yourself doing self-controlled things that you have never done before, such as leaving food on your plate, eating regular food, forgetting that it is lunchtime, and at the same time finding yourself interested in learning more about God and communicating with him. You surely have been rescued. But this is a journey, just as Scripture says. Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. Philippians 2:12 and 13. And we will continue tomorrow on that. Now for me to show you this testimony, because yesterday I told God, I said, Lord, I want to find testimonies of people who has kept the weight off after losing it. And so he showed me. So this is almost 9 minutes, but it shows different people telling their stories, or how long they've kept it off after they lost it, how much they lost, and how long they've had it, how long they've kept it off. And it's a fairly long introduction. And of course I will leave the link in the comment below, in a pinned comment.
What could I say? All of my troubles left that day. I could say I am glad I found you. I just want to be around you. And every time I find myself getting down, I think it through, and it's good to be with you. I look at my friends, the people around me, but all I need is your love to surround me. I can say I'm so glad I found you. And
8,113 pounds.
11,700 pounds.
This is truly a power that is not seen anywhere else. Is that true, guys? Praise you, God. Clap if you feel better. Just feel better.
They've lost over 20,000.
Shamblin with Way Down Ministries, and you're about to embark on a unique program of weight reduction called Way Down Basics.
65 pounds,
50 pounds,
80 pounds,
25 pounds,
50 pounds, 20 pounds.
It is highly successful and permanent because we direct your efforts toward the root problem of obesity and overweight.
I had reached the point I thought I would never, ever be able to lose weight. And I've had the weight off for over 4 years. I honestly tell you, this is living, this is life.
The Way Down workshop taught me how to live naturally, the way God intended for us to live, eating between the boundaries of hunger and fullness, and eating what you like. And it's so great.
Spending years of dieting has only made matters worse because it is the wrong focus. So you actually desire more and more food each year. And that's why you are getting larger and larger.
This was the very first program that ever changed my heart. It was the first one that really got in there and taught me why I ate and how to get out of it. My day was consumed with food as far as what I was going to eat, what I wasn't going to eat, and also exercise. Exercise definitely ruled my life. Even with bulimic behavior, it did not work.
I was an overeater from childhood, and I have been able to lose 110 pounds and keep it off for over 8 years now, and I have no desire to overeat at all.
It's deeper than just saying, eat this food or restrict this food group or increase your energy expenditure by exercise. You have got to deal with the whole person, their heart, their soul, their mind, and their strength.
I used to be consumed with thoughts of being overweight and thinking I'd never be able to lose the weight and thinking it was something that I was always going to struggle with. Now I know that I get to go to God for everything and I get blessings from Him.
Way Down teaches you to turn to God instead of food for comfort.
Through the Way Down workshop, I've learned to go to God when I'm lonely, to go to God when I'm anxious about something.
I was taught how to turn this focus that I had on the food over to a focus on God, and I lost all my weight in 6 months, and it's been off of my body for 9 years right now.
This is the way to get rid of overeating and be permanently at peace with food and stay the same weight year after year after year.
I have been totally set free from 30 years of dieting.
At 73 years old, I've never felt better in my life. I gave up greed for food, which took about 50 pounds off my body. If you're searching for a better life, this is the answer.
I thought as a grandmother that it was just normal to be putting on this weight gradually. This message is truly a gift to all of us.
Now, the whole concept of true religion is denying yourself.
50 pounds for over 8 years.
60 pounds, 70 years.
For the sake of a relationship with God.
60 pounds, 7 years.
I've lost 80 pounds.
It's pushing back from the table.
I have lost over 20 pounds.
I've lost 30 pounds.
I've lost 56 pounds.
It's saying no to greed, no to more.
I've lost 70 pounds.
I have lost 35 pounds.
If you are less greedy and you eat less food, you will lose weight.
I started dieting at the beginning of high school when I just started gaining weight and didn't know how to control it. Eating low fat, exercising every day, and all I did was get larger and larger and larger until I found Way Down.
There is such a freedom in saying no to selfish desires. You can do this.
60 pounds.
Almost 90 pounds.
257 pounds.
300 pounds.
I can identify with overeating, overweight, and binge eating. I was an overeater, and I cried out to God for wisdom on how to lose weight. I have now kept my weight off for over 25 years and have no fear of gaining the weight back as long as I turn toward God and follow in the footsteps of Christ, who would say, my food is to do the will of the Father and to finish His work. The number of people that have found this relationship with God over a relationship with food is getting stronger. And I love doing this. I have not tired of helping people to find a relationship with God and to see them get out of the slavery of food, the slavery of worshiping man and man's rules, and on to God's laws that are perfect. His words and his laws are sweeter to me than honey from the honeycomb, and I meditate on them all the time and trying to put them into practice. This is about people turning to God and worshiping him. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how large you are, how many years you've been enslaved to man's rules. God has come to set you free.
65 pounds, 68 pounds,
55,
70 pounds,
35 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds,
25 pounds,
30,
50 pounds,
35 pounds.
120.
This is the place for permanent weight loss. Praise God.
Okay, as I said, I will leave the link in a pinned comment in the comment section below. So there you have it, even more testimonies of people who have gotten the weight off and have kept it off. All because of them turning to God, giving it all completely over to him. As I was in the shower, I was talking to God and concentrating on him, and he revealed to me that doctors, scientists, man doesn't know everything about the body, and that they only know about 50 to 75% of how the body operates, but only God the Father, who created the body, knows 100% how it operates. So relying on man and what he says to do for weight loss, because he has discovered that the body does this and that, he still doesn't know everything that the body does. He doesn't know everything the body does, but God does. God knows. He created our body. He knows how it operates. He knows the proper way to lose weight. So I have watched a couple videos on a specific diet plan, and there is so much different controversy about this specific diet plan, so much controversy about it. No one doctor can agree about this or that about it. So that tells me that this particular plan is not fail-proof. Apparently, if anything is true and seriously is effective, then everybody will agree on it. But when there's so much controversy about something, then most generally it's not perfect. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of different controversy about this one particular diet plan. And so I have heard that there's a lot of good things about it, but also that there is a lot of ill effects from it. So, as it happens, any diet, any man-made rule diet has got some difficulties. It develops some difficulties in the body. Even though a person might feel better and their statistics from the doctor looks better and everything, they might have more energy and stuff, there's still things going on inside the body that ain't right. This specific plan, if you eat too much of this certain substance that is most required in this plan, it can actually, over time, cause a reverse effect on insulin. Instead of bringing insulin down, it can actually cause a jump in it. And so, like, there's always something that goes wrong with any certain diet plan, with any certain man-made diet plan, because it's not generated by God. The diet plan is not generated by God. And God knows what the body needs. God knows what the body does. The Ray Down, because it's not specifically about food, but turning to Him and trusting Him and eating within your hunger zone, there is a less chance of there being anything that goes wrong, because you've got your focus on Him and He is in control. And you're eating within the right time frame when you are truly hungry, and you stop it when you are truly satisfied. So much less chance of something going wrong with the body, because your body knows what it needs at the time when it's hungry, and it will let you know what it is. God isn't going to turn around and let you eat something that's going to hurt you. He's not going to do that. If you've truly got your eyes on Him and you're trusting Him, you have given your eating, your food over to Him, and you've got your heart completely, thoroughly on Him, focusing on Him, He's not going to let you eat something that's going to hurt you, as long as you're listening to Him. So, that's why the Ray Down is so effective, because you're not relying on man. You're not even relying on Gwen Shamlin. She's just the messenger. She's just God's messenger. And she's telling you what she had learned when she was in college, getting degrees in dietitian and nutritional science. She's just sharing with you what she knows and what she has learned from Father. She's just the messenger. So, when you go through the Ray Down, you're not trusting in man. You're trusting in God. You've given it over to Him. Your eating, your lifestyle, everything. And that's what He wants. Not to just say that you're a Christian and that you love Him, but He wants you to put your trust in Him for every single aspect of your life, including your eating pattern. Pardon me. That's what He desires. He is there waiting to hear you say, Lord, I am so tired of having to count, having to log, having to readjust, finding that what I think is working is suddenly going backwards, and I'm having to exercise harder, and I'm having to refocus, and I'm having to cut out foods that I once loved. And Father, I'm giving this all completely over to You. Show me, Lord, what to do. Help me to rate for my true hunger. Help me to stop when I'm satisfied, even if there's food on the plate. Relieve me of this stress and this burden. He wants you to ask Him. See, this is just how God is. He loves to show off, and not in an arrogant way. He's not wanting to lift his head up and go, I'm better than you. No, He is wanting to show off His love for you. He's wanting to prove Himself to you. He's wanting to show you that He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows you better than man knows you. And He's wanting to prove to you that He created you to do things the right way. He's wanting to prove to you His glory, so that in the end, when you have completely lost all the weight and you see the doctor and the doctor says your numbers are normal, and you keep the weight off for months and then years and years, and all you can say is the glory goes to him. The glory goes to him. Not me, not man, but God. The glory goes to him. He's waiting, guys. He's waiting for you to turn to him. He's waiting. He knows how you struggle. He knows how you feel. He sees your frustration when you get on the scale and you are certain that you've done it right. And instead of having another pound gone, instead you've gained another 2. He sees when you're crying at night because you think that you're not doing it right, but yet you know that you are because you're following every rule right down to the dot and diddle. He sees that. He sees when you're to the point of giving up. He sees that. And he's grieving for you because even though you're still torn apart and you're trying so hard following every single absolute rule in any weight loss plan, but yet you're not asking him to take control. You just keep leaning in on what man has said you can and cannot do. You just keep leaning in on that, believing that man is the ultimate answer. That what man discovered about the body is the ultimate answer. Not even realizing that God the Father created your body and he knows you better than man does. I don't care how many experiments man has done on the body to see what the heck is going on with it. God knows more of what's going on in it. God created it. Man only sees a percentage. God sees the whole enchilada, you know? Every ingredient, everything, the operational system in whole. He sees and knows it all. So why do you want to turn to man who didn't even create your body? Why do you want to turn to man? Why do you trust man so much for weight loss when God's the one who created you? Why? I can't figure that out. And all these years, so many years since man started studying the body on fat and stuff, they have come up with these different rules. Don't eat this, don't eat that, with the pyramid and the 4 food groups and da-di-da-di-da-di-da. And it has become inbred in our minds that such and such is a no-no, a definite no-no. Well, if a food substance is an absolute no-no, seeing that it's a natural substance that God created to be ate, why is it a no-no then? I mean, okay, there is poisonous berries and vegetables out there that cannot be ate. It's just there for greenery, to decorate the earth with color. And God specifically color-coded it so that man and beast would not touch it. The foods that he created that we can eat, if we wasn't supposed to eat it, if it was a no-no, if it was bad for us, he would have color-coded it also so that we would know, do not touch. I so do not understand. I don't understand why there is so much trust in science. Why is there so much trust in science? Even Christians believe it. Even Christians believe it. Even though the fact of the matter is that our Father God created our bodies, and He created foods for us to eat. And if we wasn't supposed to eat it, He wouldn't have created it for us to eat. What gives man the right to say you can't eat this, this, and this when God made it for us to eat? What gives man the right to say one thing that God says another about? Man isn't the authority. God is. Man is just a being that God created. They are not the authority. They are the subordinate. God created man. God is the authority. And I know because of all this brainwashing through all of our lives, it is so hard to go, wait a minute. God knows more. God knows better. God created. Why shouldn't I? It's hard to let that go. It's hard to let that go. And then people turns around and they mock others because they say, well, God created this for us. Why? Because if you turn around and mock somebody who says that, you're just the same as mocking God. Why would you do that? Why would you mock God? Think about it a minute, guys. Think about it a minute. If we wasn't to eat a certain thing, God wouldn't have created it for us to eat. Think about it a minute. Man ain't got that kind of authority, but yet you put your trust in man. Man ain't got that kind of authority. They're not as smart as God. Yeah, they're intelligent, but they're not as smart as God because they didn't create the body. God did. So God knows 100% of the body. Man doesn't. Just think about it for a minute, y'all. Just think about it a minute. Give it some thought. Give it some very serious thought. Give it some very, very serious thought. God wasn't stupid when He created man. And He's not stupid now. You know, the Word says that you're not to be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, he will reap. Well, why am I throwing that in there? Okay, it's simple. Man trusts in man, right? So man diets according to man, right? He's sowing a new lifestyle that has consequences in the end. And in the end, even though it might seem pretty good because you're feeling healthy, you're feeling energetic, some things have cleared up, but in the end, you reap a benefit that you don't want. And it's actually not a benefit at all. And God can't be mocked. He created your body. So when you're turning around and trusting man, you're just the same as denying God that opportunity to open doors for you that He wants to open. You're denying God a chance to prove to you what He can do for you. You honestly want to hurt Him like that? You want to put all your trust in man and none in God for your weight loss? You want to do that to Him? You want to break God's heart like that? I don't. I'd rather put my trust in my Father first before I put my trust in any kind of man who says that such and such doesn't work and that other such and such does. My Father knows more. I don't want to break my God's heart. I don't have a problem breaking man's heart if I don't obey their specific rule for losing weight. I don't care one bit to break their heart. They didn't create my body. But I don't want to break my Father's heart. I want to give him the privilege to continue teaching me to be a thin eater. I want to give him the privilege to prove his power through me. I want to give him the privilege. I want to give it to him because he wants it. He says to give him all of your heavy burdens. That includes weight loss. Weight loss is a heavy burden. It is a severe heavy burden. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It's a burden, a heavy, heavy, heavy burden. He wants it. I'm more than obliged to give it to him. He can have it. I don't want it. He can have it. I'm not giving it to man. I'm giving it to God. You can too. It's not too late. Don't rely so heavily on man's rules that in the end there's consequences that you don't want. You might feel good now, and your numbers may be good, and I am so tickled for you. You might find that you're losing weight, and that is so awesome. But be cautious. Don't put so much trust in man's dieting rules that in the end there's consequences that you wasn't even foreseeing. Other things that is more damaging. There's always consequences to following man. Jesus said that the blind will lead the blind into a ditch. Be careful. That's all I gotta say. If you rather not take a chance, okay, let's put it like this. Since you put your trust so heavily in a specific diet plan that man made, and man only known about 50 to 75% of the body and how it operates, and God known 100% about how the body operates. Are you willing to take a chance that it's possible that man is wrong, and in the end, there's consequences that you don't want? In the end. I'm not saying about right now, how you're feeling right now. I'm talking about in the end. Are you willing to take that chance? Knowing that God knows you 100% and that God would never lead you wrong? Knowing that God would never hurt you? Knowing that God knows exactly what goes on in your body? And knowing that God would direct you the way you need to go? God won't lead you into a ditch. So, that's all I've got to say for today. I left you some food for thought. It's up to you to do what you want with it. You can rebuke it if you want. Just don't leave it in the comments. I'll remove it. And as I said, don't bother with a thumbs down either. I already know that you're out there. So yeah, you can either put it into deep consideration and realize that, yeah, only God knows the true way to weight loss and true health. Or you can continue putting your trust in man. And you can even consider that God gave man the wisdom to know. True, God did give man wisdom to know. But even the Bible says that man doesn't know all the mysteries. Only God does. So, what wisdom man has got, God has only given them to know to a point. He's not going to reveal everything to man, because if he did, there wouldn't be no use for God, would there? Alright, guys. I love yous. I will see yous tomorrow. Have a great day.